The moment I saw it, my hands began to shake. Her suitcase lay half open on our bedroom floor, clothes spilling out like the aftermath of a hurried escape. She had just left for a shower, humming that same song she always hummed when she was hiding something. I don't know why I even touched it, her underwear folded neatly on top, but when I did, something cold and wet clung to my fingers. A white stain. Sticky. Still fresh. My breath hitched in my throat. The sound of running water from the bathroom suddenly felt deafening, mocking. I froze, fingers hovering over that small damning piece of fabric. It wasn't mine. The thought hit me like a punch to the ribs. For a moment my mind tried to make sense of it, searching for excuses. Laundry detergent, maybe lotion, but none of them fit. She'd only just returned from her business trip in Dubai. 3 days. 3 nights. And now this. The shower stopped. My heart began to race. I quickly dropped the underwear back where I found it and stepped away, trying to calm the tremor in my hands. I felt nauseous, dizzy. A part of me wanted to burst into the bathroom and demand an answer, but another part, the quieter, frightened part, needed to think. When she came out, towel wrapped around her, water glistening on her skin, she smiled. "You look like you've seen a ghost," she teased, brushing past me to open her drawer. "I just missed you," I managed to say. My voice sounded hollow. She laughed softly, leaned in, kissed my cheek. "You're sweet." Her lips were warm, but all I could think about was what they had touched before coming home. That night I couldn't sleep. Every time she shifted beside me, my mind replayed her laugh, her story about late meetings, the way her eyes darted slightly when I asked how the trip went. I tried to remember if she'd ever mentioned this client before. The one named Adil who, she said, handled the regional partnerships. I remembered the way her voice softened when she said his name. I'd brushed it off then. Now it clawed at me. Around 2 a.m., I got out of bed and went to the living room. Her laptop bag sat by the door. I stared at it for a long time before giving in to the curiosity that felt like poison in my veins. Inside, receipts, flight confirmations, and one hotel invoice, 2 names listed under the same reservation. Sarah Khan and Adil Rahman. My pulse roared in my ears. The next morning she acted normal, too normal. Making coffee, scrolling through her phone, humming again. She noticed me watching her and smiled. "What's wrong, love?" "Nothing," I said. "Just tired." But she noticed something. Her eyes narrowed slightly, reading me like she always did. "You're being weird," she said playfully. "Am I?" She stepped closer, placed her hand on my chest. "You know I hate it when you get all quiet on me." Her touch burned. My body wanted to respond, but my mind screamed in protest. Later, as she left for work, I found myself following her. Not out of spite, but out of desperation. I told myself it was to put my mind at ease. She didn't go to her office. She drove to a small cafe on the other side of town, parked her car, and sat there for 10 minutes before a man approached, tall, well-dressed, confident. He smiled as he got in beside her. My stomach dropped. I watched from across the street, hands gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. They didn't kiss. Not immediately. They just sat close, talking, laughing. And then he brushed a strand of her hair away from her face, and she leaned in. My world went silent. That night, I waited for her to come home. I didn't confront her right away. I wanted her to hang herself with her own lies. "How was work?" I asked. "Busy," she replied casually, slipping off her heels. "We're finalizing a new deal. Might have to travel again next month." I looked at her then, really looked at her. The woman I'd loved for 8 years. The woman who'd held me when my mother died. Who'd promised me forever. And I saw her blink a little too fast. A flicker of guilt. I nodded slowly. "I see." She tilted her head. "What's wrong?" "Nothing," I said. "But I found your hotel invoice." Her face went pale. For a moment she didn't move. Then she forced a smile. "I can explain." "Explain why you shared a room with another man? Or why his name was on your receipt?" Her jaw tightened. "It wasn't like that. The hotel was overbooked. Stop." Silence filled the room like smoke. Finally she sat down, trembling slightly. "It just happened once," she whispered. "We'd been drinking." "I didn't mean to." My chest caved in. "You didn't mean to?" I laughed bitterly. You meant every second of it. Tears filled her eyes. I swear, I regretted it the moment it happened. I stared at her and for a second I almost believed her. 'Cause I wanted to. Because part of me still loved her. But then I remembered that stain. That small cruel truth that stripped away every excuse she could give. I leaned forward. You didn't even bother washing them, did you? Her face broke. What? Your underwear. From the trip. My voice cracked. I found them. She froze, then turned away, covering her mouth as she began to sob. We didn't speak for days after that. She moved into the guest room. I wandered the house like a ghost, trying to decide what to feel. Rage, grief, numbness. They all blurred together. One night I sat outside on the porch, staring at her car parked in the driveway. Her phone buzzed on the table beside me. A new message. From Adil. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. Instead, I picked up my wedding ring, the one she'd engraved with "Forever Yours," and set it beside her phone. When she came downstairs the next morning, she saw it. Are you leaving me? She asked, voice trembling. I looked at her for a long time before answering. No. You already did. She tried to speak, to explain again, but I walked away. The morning light filtered through the curtains, warm and bright. Yet everything inside me felt cold. As I stepped outside, I realized something painful. Betrayal isn't just about what someone does. It's about the version of yourself that dies knowing it was never enough. And somewhere between her lies and my silence, that version of me was already gone.